Old school Pokemon here. Yes, I am finally back from my little YouTube hiatus. It has been a long time since I've uploaded any type of content on my YouTube channel. I believe it's over a month since I uploaded my last video, which I don't even remember what my last video was. I think it was before I left for Collecticon Charlotte. It might have been right after I got back. But it's been a long time since I've uploaded anything on YouTube. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a PSA submission that I'm going to be sending off right after I finish recording this video. As I'm recording this video, today is Friday, I believe it's July 8th. You guys are going to be watching this video on Monday, but so as you probably know by now, PSA just recently announced that they're going to be running a July special throughout the month of July. $18 per card for grading, maximum declared value $199 with an estimated turnaround time of 150 days. I actually just finished the submission form for this submission right here, 195 cards. I have another 195 cards ready to go in semi-rigids and all of that stuff. I'm just going to fill out the actual submission form. So that'll be the next submission that I do. It's kind of the continuation to this submission right here. I kind of broke this up into two parts. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop right into it. I'll show you everything that I'm going to be submitting into PSA and hopefully get back towards the end of this year, maybe the beginning of next year, which will be really, really nice. But anyway, we're going to start things off with the first edition jungle set. We've got the Clefable right there. Now, for any of you who have been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you may recognize a lot of these cards. And that is because I showed all of these cards not all of these cards, but most of these cards in an older video where I went over all of the cards that I had within my kind of backlog to send off to PSA. This is back when PSA was just completely shut down, or they were charging $100 per card, which really wasn't worth it for these types of cards. But now that they have this July special going on, I'm planning on taking full advantage of that and sending a whole bunch of cards to PSA to kind of replenish my graded card inventory stock. So there's all the first edition jungle set cards that I have. For those of you who missed that previous video, quick little backstory on all of these cards, or most of these cards anyway. For the most part, all of these cards came from my binder sets back in the day. Back in when I first started collecting, actually collecting Pokemon cards instead of just buying and selling them, I started off building high-grade WotC binder sets of all the first edition sets, and then I went into the Legendary Collection, Reverse Holo Legendary Collection, Expedition, Aquapolis. I never got to Skyridge for some reason, so I just have a non-holo set of Skyridge. I don't have any of the holos from Skyridge. Anyway, so I was always a binder collector back in the day. I much prefer binder sets than PSA graded sets. I just think they look a lot better in binders than having all those graded cards. But I did want to go for the higher grade binder sets. And back in the day when I was building these sets, 2016, 2017 was the time frame of me building all of these sets. It was a lot easier to find near mint condition complete sets and then single cards on eBay. Nowadays, it's still possible to find these higher grade cards, not graded, but it's a lot tougher nowadays to find these types of cards on eBay. Plus, they're a lot more expensive nowadays than they were back in the day. So I had all these binder sets, built them in 2016, 2017, like I said, and then I just kind of had them all sitting in binders, which was really, really cool to look through all of the cards. But come 2020, with all the mania that was happening at that time, these cards got to be really, really expensive, and it just didn't make sense for me to have all of these cards just sitting in binders. So I actually decided to break up all of my binder sets, set all of the holo cards aside for eventual PSA grading. So that's where all of these cards came from. I took all the holo cards out of my binders. I did keep the non-holo sets. I thought that'd be kind of a little cool memento. The non-holo sets, they're worth a decent bit nowadays, but they're not worth a ton, so I can still justify having like mint condition non-holo binder sets. And I thought that'd be kind of cool because the vast majority of my eBay business has and probably always will be those non-hollow singles. That's kind of what I do. Really enjoy that. So I figured, if anything, I had to hold on to those, because that's kind of the core of my business right there, is that type of stuff. And then when you see duplicate cards, like we had a few dark magnetons, we got a few dark slow bros right there. Duplicate cards are basically, so I had one of each in my binder sets, and then the duplicate cards just came from collections that I've purchased over the past year or so. For first edition WotC hollows, anything that I feel would grade as being a PSA 8 or above, I set aside for eventual grading. Anything that was PSA 7 or below, I would just sell as being raw on eBay, unless it was something more expensive, like a Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. Then I might hold on to it to grade. But for the most part, it had to be PSA 8 and above for me to actually set aside for eventual grading. And that was just because PSA at the time, PSA wasn't grading anything for under 100, and then 50, and then 30. But now that they have this special going on, it definitely makes it more worthwhile to send these types of cards off to get graded. Another thing I wanted to mention here with these complete sets, like I said, for the most part, everything should be PSA 8 and above. I didn't really take a really good look through everything. I took a good look through everything about a year ago when I actually broke these binder sets up. Anything that was like PSA 7 condition and below, I ended up selling as raw. Anything 8 and above, I set aside. I really haven't taken a really good look through everything to kind of double check, which I normally like to do, but I just wanted to get these cards off to PSA for grading, so I really didn't take a good look again through these cards. One thing I did know going through these cards originally was I built all these sets in chronological order. So I started with the first edition Jungle. I always wanted to have a graded first edition base set, so I actually had a graded first edition base set. So my binder set started off with the first edition Jungle, and I built all these sets in chronological order. So I started with the Jungle, the No Symbol Jungle, then I moved on to the Fossil, Team Rocket, Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge, so on and so forth. Like I said, the whole process took me about 2 years to complete back then. And it's funny to look back at all these cards, because my grading standards, you can see a noticeable difference in how strict I was with my grading standards. First edition Jungle, No Symbol Jungle, first edition Fossil right here. A lot of these cards, I wouldn't be surprised if they graded as being PSA 8s with maybe 1 or 2 PSA 9s. But then when you get into the first edition Team Rocket, the Gyms, the Neos, so on and so forth, that's when you really get into the mint condition cards. So PSA, maybe a few PSA 8s, majority PSA 9s, hopefully a couple 10s. That would be nice. So it's kind of cool to look back and see how your grading standards have changed over the years. But yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see what these cards come back as. That'll be a really fun return video whenever I actually get these back from PSA. Another thing I wanted to mention here was you're probably noticing a whole bunch of gaps within these sets, especially as we get into the Gym and the Neo sets. That's because I did grade, I've graded a good portion of the Gym and Neo sets already. I sent a lot, or not a lot, but maybe 50-ish Gym and Neo hollows off to PSA back in December of 2020. I believe it was $10 a card back then. And I've already gotten those cards back and sold the majority of those. I might have a few left within my eBay inventory, but majority of those cards are already gone. And then since then, I have graded a few more of the cards under the $100 tier. A few more than that under the $50 tier, like the Lugia from Neo Genesis. I already graded that one. That one actually came back as being a PSA 9, and I since sold that one. I actually had another smaller submission ready to go for the $30 tier that opened up back a couple of weeks ago. I picked 50-ish cards from all these cards that you're looking at right now, and I had them ready to go for a PSA submission. I actually had them all picked out. Some of the more higher end cards that you're seeing within this video right here, had them all picked out, had them all within semi-rigids. But then Pokemon Go, I got my Pokemon Go shipment, and I had to break all that product down, open all those boxes, sort all those cards, get all those listed onto eBay and TCG Player, and then the the release week of Pokemon Go. It's just been a hectic few weeks, so I really didn't have time to get that PSA submission, or work on that PSA submission at all. So I didn't send those cards off to PSA, which, looking back now, I'm really, really happy about that, because instead of sending those 50 cards off at $30 a piece, I'm able to send a whole bunch more cards off at $18 a piece, which is really, really nice right there. So saving a good bit of money there. So we got the end of the first edition WotC sets. Now we're moving on into the Legendary Collection set. So we've got the regular holos from Legendary Collection. I graded a portion of these cards, and then another portion of them I actually sent a decent bit of like unlimited holos, and then some of these Legendary Collection holos off to CGC back a couple weeks ago. Any of the Legendary Collection holos that like aren't as popular, like, so not Jolteon, but like Hitmonlee, Machamp right here, any of these ones that were like PSA 8 to 9, like borderline PSA 8 to 9, back a couple weeks ago, I ended up sending those off to CGC to get graded, just because, like I said, I'm really running low on good graded card inventory. I have a ton of like first edition commons and uncommons, shadowless commons and uncommons, modern cards, stuff like that. But as far as WotC holos go, I do not have much whatsoever. So I needed to replenish some of that. So I went through these cards. I didn't pull any of the first editions, but the unlimited cards, I did send some of those off to CGC. Ones that were like 8s to 9s, ones that I knew wouldn't get, ones that I was fairly certain wouldn't get a 9, definitely not a 10, I sent off to CGC just to kind of get some more graded cards rolling through. But any of the ones that you're seeing now, I think are guaranteed 9s, which I won't say guaranteed, but I'm fairly confident they'll get a 9, with some of them hopefully being able to get a 10. We'll see how that goes. And then we got some Expedition as well here. But so that's why you're not seeing many of the Legendary Collection holos right there. And then I had a decent stack of like mint condition unlimited WotC holos from Base, Jungle, Fossil, a couple Gym, maybe a handful of Neo. It was about 150 cards that I'd just been setting aside over the past year or so, and I sent those cards off to CGC back a couple of weeks ago as well. I think it's a 150 card submission that I sent to CGC. A lot of WotC holos, unlimited Legendary Collection, like I said there. So yeah, hopefully I'll be getting that submission back within the next couple weeks. I wanted to get that one off for CGC just because I'm going to be going to Long Beach Collecticon towards the end of August, and right now I really don't have a lot of like good inventory to bring. So I definitely wanted to have some stuff to bring to Long Beach, and then to have for eBay inventory as well. So that's why I did that. But all the first edition stuff, reverse holo Legendary Collection cards, e-reader cards like this, I held off and was waiting for PSA, and finally I'm going to be submitting these into PSA. So that is everything that I have for today's video. 195 cards going off to PSA this afternoon. Thank you guys for watching. Really do appreciate the support, and I will see you in the next one.